They offered me $700 a month to disappear from my own son's life. Yes, you heard that right. $700. That was the price they put on a mother. But what they didn't know was that I earned $40,000 every single month. And that dinner? It didn't go the way they expected. Before I tell you what happened inside that luxury restaurant, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below where you're watching from. Stories like this deserve to be heard, and your support helps this channel grow. Now let me tell you how it all started. My name is Elena. I'm 58 years old. For almost 22 years, I have worked as a senior executive in a multinational corporation. I sign contracts worth millions. I manage teams across continents. I make decisions that affect thousands of employees. And yet, my own son believed I was just a small office worker living paycheck to paycheck. And I let him believe it. You see, I grew up in a home where dignity was silent. My father used to say, if your success needs applause, it isn't real success. So I never showed off. I lived in the same modest apartment for years. I wore simple clothes. I carried the same leather bag until it faded. I cooked at home. I saved. I invested quietly. By the time I turned 50, my investments were generating more income than most executives make in a year. But at home, I was simply mom. My son Daniel is 35. Intelligent, ambitious, and in many ways kind-hearted. But after he married Sophia, something changed. Sophia comes from a wealthy family. Her parents, Richard and Margaret, live overseas. They travel first class. They stay in 5-star hotels. They talk about money the way most people talk about weather. Last Tuesday, Daniel called me. Mom, can you come to dinner this Saturday? Sophia's parents are visiting. They want to meet you. Of course, I said. What do they know about me? There was a pause. I told them you work in an office. That you live alone. That you're simple. Simple. I didn't react. I simply said, all right. I'll be there. But something in his tone hurt. It wasn't pride. It was almost embarrassment. That's when I decided something. If they expected a poor, struggling mother, I would give them exactly what they expected. Saturday arrived. I chose the plainest dress in my closet. Light gray. Slightly wrinkled. Old flat shoes. No jewelry. Not even my watch. I tied my hair back in a messy ponytail and grabbed a faded canvas tote bag. When I looked in the mirror, I looked invisible. Perfect. The restaurant was located in the most exclusive part of the city. Warm golden lights. A doorman in white gloves. Luxury cars lined up outside. Inside, Daniel stood near a long table by the window. He looked nervous. Sophia stood beside him in an elegant cream dress with gold details. She looked flawless. Confident. Then I saw her parents. Margaret wore a deep emerald gown covered in delicate beadwork. Diamonds shimmered around her neck. Richard wore a charcoal suit and a watch so large it caught the light every time he moved his wrist. They looked powerful. Daniel saw me first. His eyes widened slightly. Mom, you came. Of course, sweetheart. Sophia kissed my cheek quickly. Polite. Cold. Margaret extended her hand. Her eyes slowly scanned my dress, my shoes, my bag. That looks at everything. We sat down. No one pulled out my chair. The menus were in French. Do you need help? Margaret asked with a sweet smile. Yes, please, I said softly. I'm not used to places like this. She ordered something simple for me. And that's when the real dinner began. They talked about their hotel, $1,000 per night. They talked about the luxury car they rented. They mentioned shopping sprees that cost just a few thousand. They kept watching me, waiting for admiration. I gave them nothing but polite nods. Then Margaret turned to me. "And what exactly do you do?" "I handle paperwork," I said quietly. "Administrative things." "Ah," she replied. "Honest work is respectable." Respectable. Dinner arrived. Tiny portions arranged like artwork. Margaret mentioned the price of her steak. $80. The wine? $200 a bottle. Then she asked, "Were you able to help Daniel when he got married?" "We gave them $40,000 for the house deposit," Richard added proudly. "And $15,000 for their honeymoon." Margaret looked at me. "And you?" "A small gift," I said. "How sweet," she replied. Daniel stared at his plate. Then Margaret's tone changed. "We believe in stability for our children. Financial and emotional stability." I knew something was coming. "We were thinking," Margaret continued smoothly, "that perhaps we could offer you a small monthly allowance. $500, maybe $700. Daniel froze. In return, Richard added calmly, "We would appreciate some space for the young couple." There it was. $700 to disappear from my son's life. I wiped my lips slowly with my napkin. "That is a generous offer," I said calmly. Margaret smiled, thinking I accepted. "How much did you give for the house again?" I asked. 40,000. "And the honeymoon?" 15. "So 55,000 total." "Yes. Because we love our daughter." I leaned forward slightly. "And what exactly did that buy you? Gratitude? Control?" The table went silent. "You've spoken about money all night," I continued. "But you never asked if I was happy. You calculated my worth based on my shoes." Margaret's face stiffened. I reached into my canvas bag and pulled out my phone. "Earlier this week," I said calmly, "I finalized a $12 million contract. My monthly income is $40,000. Daniel's face turned pale. "I own my apartment. I own commercial properties. I invested quietly while raising my son alone. I didn't contribute to their house because I wanted him to build something himself, not feel owned." Margaret couldn't speak. "I chose simplicity," I said. "Because real power doesn't shout." I stood up. "I will not accept your allowance. And I will never sell access to my child." I looked at Daniel. "The only question is, do you see me differently now?" His voice trembled. "I see myself differently." I left the restaurant without waiting for applause. Outside, the night air felt clean. Money can buy houses. It can buy wine. It can buy silence. But it cannot buy dignity. And that night, the poorest people at the table were not the ones wearing old shoes. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because sometimes, the quietest person in the room is the most powerful one.